the second pay-per-view of the new era for the SmackDown brand was definitely a pay-per-view of ups and downs. But the downs weren't as bad as, let's say, the downs that were in, say, Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we missed.
Well, fuck it all. I was not happy with tonight. I hated this pay-per-view.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, we're kind of on opposite ends on it. This is going to be a fun little night, I think. But
yeah, that's all. The thing is, it's not. My reasons are
purely personal.
Yes.
Purely personal. All right. Okay. Well, but to put a little explanation on Clash of Champions, we missed that because I was in vacationing in Seattle during that weekend, so we didn't do a tagging in on it. But quick thoughts on it. I feel that I felt that it was right to have Kevin Owens maintain, but I don't know. Sami Zayn feels like he's sputtering at the moment. I think he could have used the win over Jericho. Roman Reigns winning the U.S. title. The booking on that is just so lopsided and so ass backwards wrong.
Sami Zayn and
No, I'm talking Roman Reigns and Rusev.
No. Before you were talking about Sami Zayn and Jericho. I was just kind of going over. I didn't see that tonight.
No, I mean, I'm talking about Clash of Champions.
Oh, are we retreading?
Yeah, I'm retreading Clash of Champions. Okay. Just yeah, okay.
My bad.
All right.
I was in my headspace.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, as I said, Clash of Champions was kind of a fair to Midland show. I mean, the wrestling was all right, but the booking was just, like I said, ass backwards, especially during the Roman Reigns Rusev fight, because by all accounts and purposes, Roman should be the face in that feud, but you can't not be on Rusev's side considering everything that happened. You're kind of left in a rock and a hard place in that matchup, but like it should be that Roman does go over, but not the way. I guess the events leading up to it makes him seem more like a bully than a hero.
Yeah.
So that's
which is a hard thing to do when your opponent is Rusev.
When it's
the
hard.
Bulgarian brute.
Yeah, I mean
so way to out-brute.
Yeah, like out-bully the brute.
Yeah,
exactly. Off the top of my head, other matches. I mean, I like the tag team match with the New Day and the Club. Felt that the Club should have gone over, considering how much they manhandled the New Day over the course. Mm-hmm. But if they're dog determined to make the New Day the actual true longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history, which I believe they're still about 50 or 60 days off from that, then right, fine. But don't tease us with a title transfer by making the Club look as strong as they did, but just not actually go through with it and pull the trigger. Outside of that, not really much I'm really to comment on. And I feel like tonight, No Mercy was sort of like a SmackDown reflection of that night.
Yeah.
There was the correct title change, and everything else just kind of felt like, well, that was really, really good. That was fair to Midland, and, well, I guess that's as good as they could do considering the circumstances. But overall, I felt like, I emerged from the pay-per-view saying that more goods than bads. Again, contextualizing everything. But as you said, from a technical standpoint, this is good, but from a personal standpoint...
Yeah, I was just going back to Backlash and rehashing that in my mind. Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of... I mean, comparing it to Backlash it's not going to do No Mercy any favors, especially considering how that ended. And
tonight was it was a strong pay-per-view. It had one part of it that was missing, of course, with Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
But they covered it well, as they could. If not unconventionally, as they so far have been doing so often lately. It's having they had the main event in the first card, the first part of the
top
card.
of the card, yeah.
And that's the first time that's ever happened in, I guess, the history of WWE.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, technically speaking, it's at the bottom of the card. The main event's at the bottom of the card.
Bottom of the card, not top. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's weird enough as it is, but it went well.
Yeah.
The parts I didn't like, however, were, just it was just my favorites not going over the way I wanted them to, perhaps.
So basically, every detraction you have against this pay-per-view
it was purely personal.
It's a mark thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mark thing.
Well, before we get into the nitty-gritty details of it, I think it's time for us to continue our tradition.
Yes.
So you were given a homework assignment. So what did you think?
Yeah,
of Kevin
that's
Nash's...
lame enough. What you gave me without it having to be homework. That's pretty fucking lame.
So give us your book report about
Yeah.
Kevin Nash, the comic book series.
Yeah, so here we go. That's issue 1 and issue 2. Yeah, you can tell those are going to be just delightful.
Delightful.
So Nash, it's a comic about a wrestler in a post-apocalyptic world in the future year of 2000. Or at least after 2000. Well, 2000 is when the apocalypse happens. But it's not the way that you think it's going to. In the year 2000, Armageddon never came. No final battle at the world's end. No phantom horsemen ringing in the apocalypse. The truth was worse than that. For when famine, pestilence, and death arrived at last, they were entirely of human origin. Like they wouldn't be.
There's that the apocalypse is actually man-made and not biblical and such, but
Well, of course it's gonna be man-made.
this is
What's the chances that it's going to be? I almost said handmade.
Like artisanally
Yeah.
crafted apocalypses.
But no, of course it was. Of course it was a human-caused apocalypse. Like Y2J was a fear of. Sorry, Y2J. Y2K. It's actually Y2J was a fear of all the computers going bonkers and us not being able to control the nukes, and the information would be leaked and whatnot, and everything would go to shit. But interestingly, Y2J doesn't show up in this.
I don't know. No,
this WCW, or what was it at the time?
Yeah,
what was he?
I believe this was WCW.
Yeah.
This was 97, 98. But then again, Chris Jericho was part of WCW back then. So.
But yeah, so Nash is.
It's one long...
This is just one long ego trip from Kevin Nash. Kevin Big Sexy Nash, as he describes himself in the...
yeah, that's definitely a nickname he gave
back.
himself.
Kevin, he makes it very big, bold, Kevin Sexy Nash. There's a split photo. That's a special edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. There's this, I'm going to read one passage from it that describes it all in a nutshell.
Was this from the second issue?
Yeah, this is from the second issue. It's right about... here we go. Yeah. That's where you're wrong, Tara. I've got my life right here. Right here with the sandy... Say, I haven't seen you before. I was hiding. I was kind of scared. But you're not scared now, are you?
Cut to...
No. Cut to him holding her. No, not anymore. Good. Real good. Oh. 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 Oh, Nash. Oh. Oh, Kevin. Time up. Wake up, big fella. The capsule I slipped in your big mouth when we kissed goodnight did a major knockout job on you. But the sun's up, sweetie, and I've got a surprise for you. Okay, so that's Kevin. That's
No,
Nash.
no,
That's just Nash.
That's
Nash.
that's
Nash.
like the plot basically centers around Kevin Nash.
Yeah, he's going out. He's writing stories, making songs, fighting around the world, and fucking lots of women.
Lots of women.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that entire series is when the daughter of his arch nemesis teleports him to the base just to basically say, join our side so we can fuck again, and he refuses because he's a good and honorable man, and plus there's plenty of
Who gets plenty of sand eater.
Yeah. Who gets plenty on the side so he don't need none. Oh,
But it's kind of sandy, though. Ooh. But actually, interestingly enough, they didn't go that low. So, good on Nash, I guess, or something.
No, good on Nash. All right, give me your goddamn gift, okay?
Yeah, here it is. You can have these back.
Oh, no givesy backsies.
Yeah.
No givesies backsies. Reaching out for your...
So, it's October.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got you a spoopy gift. Just warning you so that you don't pee your pants or anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty scary.
3 spoopy-fied me? Okay.
Pretty scary.
All right, what do we got here? Oh, god damn it. It's Roman Reigns zombie form. Like they actually have zombie wrestlers.
Yeah.
Of course they got zombie wrestlers. But what do we got here? We got zombie John Cena, zombie The Rock, zombie Triple H, and Undertaker. Undertaker's already a zombie.
I know, it's pretty redundant.
Zombie Bray Wyatt. What's the point of him being a zombie? Zombie Dean Ambrose and Zombie Paige. Okay,
Yeah.
You know what? This isn't too bad. This isn't. I mean,
No, it really is not in hindsight, is it?
In hindsight, no. I mean, like the only lame part is that it's zombies, which is.
Hold on.
Yep.
Where's the part? Here it is. The cap. Roman Reigns used to be driven by a hunger for justice and victory. Now, as a zombie, there's only one thing that satisfies Roman: brains.
Roman brains. That is beautiful in all the worst ways possible. This is exactly what I was looking for as far as wrestling gifts are concerned.
The roster has gotten a little bit spoopy now.
Oh, damn it. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have something else in here?
Yes, we do. I'm glad you asked.
More of those fucking dog tags. That's it. All right, fine. I thought I was being a little cruel with my gift, but now I see that
You're always going to get
it. No, this can't be Roman Reigns. Where's his bulletproof vest?
I know.
Like
Zombie form apparently outgrows it. Zombie Roman Reigns works on his abs and doesn't need it anymore.
Here's your goddamn gift. Just make sure that this doesn't appear on camera. This part.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, make sure the gift isn't so bad you don't even want it to appear on camera.
No. There you go.
Oh, I love this. I love this material. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So, whoa, plastic smell. God.
I farted in the bag before I closed
How
it.
did you get this mailed with your fart in it?
I had my ways.
No, that was pure plastic. Oh God.
Woo!
Nothing else.
Yeah, no, that's pass over here.
Okay. It's good. Already this has a... No! No! You fucktard! You son of a bitch! God damn it! I was kidding about you constantly fucking... Look at this shit! Look at this shit! I'm gonna get you a box of dog tags, you motherfucker!
When my hair is dyed.
Are you kidding me? Kevin Nash 16. When my hair is dyed, I feel like I'm 35 again. I don't even sound like him. But... Jesus crap! Christ on a stick! Okay. Wow. And I'm gonna have to wear it too, because it's what we do. It's what we do.
I had to get the right color. I had to be the one color that you would never ever wear in your life.
Like, I would have worn this shirt to this freaking pay-per-view if I had the forethought and the means. Because this would have been the perfect pay-per-view to feel like an ass hat. And apparently 35 again.
But do you dye your hair?
Do I dye my hair? Not for the purposes that he does.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Wow.
That is... When I saw that, I just knew,
Jeez. And it even looks like crap. It's like red, white, and shit blue.
It's baby blue.
Yeah, I know. It's that shitty baby blue color. God damn it.
It's the right color. Oh, just the right color to piss you off. This is great.
This is like get a shirt from my dad that doesn't even like wrestling. It's like, I don't know who Kevin Nash is, but this looks like something I'm supposed to wear.
I'd support Kevin Nash as president.
It's like if I had hair, I'd dye it.
Oh.
It's like, I'll get this to my dad. He'll appreciate that.
Oh, no regifting. Come on.
Because my father loves that color blue.
Oh.
He has a lot of his clothes are that color blue. But I don't know how maybe he'll find that funny. He doesn't have hair, so.
Oh.
I mean, it is kind of funny.
Kind of. Fuck you!
Fucking Macho Man Savage shirt.
Got this great purple Macho Man shirt. You got
Put
this...
my title back, alright? Jesus Christ.
So, what are your feelings on Kevin Nash right now?
You stupid fucking idiot. Every time he says that, he's referring to people like you. You're on the list. You're on the list of Jericho. I'm gonna write to Jericho and I'm gonna ask him to put you on the list. If I ever see him at a convention or at a pay-per-view, I'm going to ask him very much to please put you on the list.
All right. Guess what's your gift's going to be next time?
As a matter of fact, I'm going to tweet him too immediately after this and ask him to put you on the list. Okay.
Fine and dandy, sweet as candy.
Yeah.
All right. No real. It's getting to the point where like the pre-show has gotten boringly competent. I want to say like it used to be that. You know, like
it used to be that the mistakes were
plentiful and the phrases and sayings were.
Booker T has gotten some coaching. Who's responsible for this?
For the sake of our purposes, that's the death knell. Yeah,
like I don't think that he even enjoys Shucky Ducky Quack Quack moment anymore. I think that he is just kind of doing that out of obligation.
Like you got to maintain that trademark.
Yeah.
You got to, But
it's just a sad reminder of what we no longer have, and that was the wonderful flubbing his lines, the wonderful do we have a name for them? Like, Bookerisms, or
it's
like crossing the I's and dotting the T's.
The spoonerisms. Those are called spoonerisms when you get a phrase mixed up.
Yeah. I actually do that a lot. I'm terrible. I'm like dyslexic with speech. And
well, in a lot of ways, so was this pay-per-view. As we begin the night of the pre-show with the most meta, purposefully bad promo I've ever seen anyone do in the modern era, where Kurt Hawkins finally arrives. Accompanied by the Ava Marie voice talking about how awesome he is,
and except in this case, it's really not ironic. He is awesome. There's no doubt.
My favorite part of this guy is that right as he approaches the ring, he screams out, "Kurt Hawkins is approaching the ring, so that means I will stop talking."
That announcer is great too, by the way.
Yeah.
That guy deserves some credit.
Indeed.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But Kurt Hawkins, so far, starting out with a huge bang, without even having to throw a single punch.
Yeah, I mean, he's carrying the ring this shitty little.
He's got this shitty freaking like holographic baton.
Crystal like. It's just like this hard plastic cane that you can get.
It's got that like fluorescent finish or something. It's not even. I think it's just like wrapping ribbon or something wrapped around a baton. It's really shitty.
Oh yeah, like it looked like they just picked that up at a dollar store.
It honestly looks like something that they gave to Perry Saturn because he fucked up again.
Here, you did wonders with the mop. Now let's see what you can do with this.
It's a step up. Actually, not really. I mean, I think the mop's more of a weapon.
But
at least if you use the other end of it.
But so the intro was good enough. But then he starts speaking to the microphone, and he purposefully got Sacramento mixed up with San Francisco, which nobody fucking does. So that's immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
Heel.
Immediate heel. Hello.
He's got the heel announcer.
He's got the heel announcer.
He's fucking up the name of the town he's in.
And which
you only do if you're heel or if you're Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. And third,
his entire premise is that he's going to make a huge announcement that he's going to have a match on next SmackDown. That's the entirety of his segment. All this pomp and circumstance just for him to say, I'm going to have my first on Tuesday.
When he's walking into the ring, the announcer's supposed to stop so he can enter the ring. He actually delays for a while because he wants him to say more Hawkinisms. Hawkin facts. It's like, is that it? All right.
Oh, so good. So very good. This is... I really cannot wait to see what he does.
Like, now it's like, how's his ring ability? Does it live up to his showmanship?
Or does he, he sucks so bad?
Yeah.
It'd be, like...
Let's not deal with another, frickin'...
Bobby Roode?
I'm still hoping that he's not bad. Bobby Roode's not bad. It's just that his moveset's a little underwhelming. I'm hoping that it's not going to end up into a situation like Enzo Amore, where his showmanship was so good, but then you started to find out that some of it was really repeated from NXT a lot, and then he got kind of lazy, a little bit lazy in the ring, or something something was off. I don't know. And then his moveset started to get a little bit trimmed down. His matches got trimmed down. I still hope that I'm going trailing off here, but I really am holding out. I hope that he finds his way again.
And somebody needs to light a fire under his ass.
Oh God! And speaking of which, I'm glad we trailed off. I wanted to mention I watched SmackDown and Raw prior to No Mercy, and I appreciate what they did with the More Than Pink movement. That's great. But oh my God, the botch with the titles. Poor Enzo.
That's not supposed to happen.
Oh God, he pulls the towel off them, and they he's supposed to whip it off, and then he doesn't. They fall. They start toppling over. He has to go in there over the cameras. It's like, oh God, this is so sad. This is so sad.
They say that Al Snow once said that a part of the business is learning how to take a turd and polish it.
Yeah.
And
that didn't work out so well.
No, it didn't. But to bring this back to Kurt Hawkins for just my last thing about it is that him in the ring could go one of two ways. Either he's brilliant in the ring, so now it's sort of like AJ Styles where he's talking all this smack and he's actually backing it up, or it could be the comedy way where he just sucks.
And he might just be complete heel and escape every chance he gets because he knows he sucks.
So either way, like comedy, it'll be hilarious and that can last a while. Or actual quality. The worst thing that could happen is if he's just fair to Midland in the ring.
But that means that anytime you hear that announcer, if this happens, anytime you hear that announcer, you're going to know that this person's not a legit wrestler.
Pretty much. Ava Marie.
Yeah.
You kind of you've stained that forever.
You've set that kind of low bar for anybody who has that.
Yeah.
But it's good though.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the Ava Marie
announcer voice.
Yeah, the Eva Marie sketch thing was great. Even though she's not, that's taking it, like you said, taking a turd and polishing it. Way to go.
And the only match on the pre-show, which actually I was surprised by how good it was, despite the finish. It was an eight-way tag team match between faces and heels. American Alpha and the Hype Bros versus Vaudevillains and the Ascension. Now, at this point, is the entirety of the WWE roster, not just SmackDown, but everyone down from NXT, and everyone from FCW, and everyone as far down as their talent pool goes, are they just all gonna dunk on the Vaudevillains? They're just lining up and just alley-oop.
They are literally just like lining up to bury them. Everybody's got to get a shot at burying the Vaudevillains.
I have never seen a tag team buried. A tag team that was supposed to be, at one point or another, contenders. Be buried.
They were really
so deep.
And it seems like ever since they didn't legitimately win that match, they were allegedly supposed to win, because Enzo got hurt. Enzo, I'm not saying that it's because of you. It's really unfortunate what happened.
Yeah, but you knocked yourself the fuck out. So, you know, I mean, that's an accident that... I mean, like, on one hand, like, at least we can say, like, he has no, like, there's no one to blame but himself for not getting his head down and just, again...
We don't know how much of that was, you know, a botch and how much of it was just, you know...
Accident.
Yeah.
Well, all botches are accidents.
Well, I mean, we don't know how much of it was like, oh, I forgot to do something. But
the point is
we're retreading because of stuff. But the truth is, it's like Airplane right now, where everybody's just like, get out of the way, don't do that. This is how you do it. This is how you bury the Vaudevillains.
It's like, calm down here. Everything is gonna be all right. Slap. Just. Well, why don't we just get back the Dudley Boys again and try to have them bury the freaking Vaudevillains? Why don't we?
With no tables. Yeah.
It's frustrating because, you know, like, it's frustrating for me personally because I know that if I'm going to be playing favorites, and I must, that Simon Gotch is a fan, and I'm proud to say I'm a fan of his as well. But he and Aiden English are just struggling and gaining no momentum at all, and I really hopefully we can get some real fire underneath these guys at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if they don't like the gimmick, then even though I personally like the strongman gimmick, I like the gentleman.
I love it.
Gentleman brawler gimmick.
Simon Gotch is like a matchup.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
Yeah, like Aiden English, same thing. We like the old timey aspect of it. We like it a lot, but
yeah, and that entrance they had with the black and white finish was really cool. What was really great that I think they got rid of was they used to, I think it was in NXT, they developed they did it in a way that it was like they started off with the old timey thing, you know, but and then they would stop, and then they look, you know, very slowly to the camera, and then the you know, the ominous music would start, and it was perfect.
Boom, boom, boom.
It was perfect, and you know what it reminded me of was I know that you're not going to get this probably. If you enjoyed Lost Girl, I think it was, yeah, Lost Girl. Pretty sure it was Lost Girl. There was this episode where they had these like traveling circus group, and there was like this old timey footage of them, and they would just like turn and break the fourth wall. And it was so creepy. They would like leave the camera. It's really
cool. But the match itself, though, was actually a lot better than I think a lot of people were expecting. Because opening match, you know, like pre-show match, who gives a shit? Like, it's there to entice would-be viewers into the WWE network, and that's about it. However, some great spots coming from some unlikely people. Mojo Rawley. Turning himself into a human skittle pin and just rolling around the mat trying to basically be the guy who's like, you're not gonna get past me. You're not gonna get past me. You ain't hype. You ain't hype. And there is something to the effect of him being a human energy drink where...
I always liked Ryback because I felt that he was the athlete that had too much energy for normal sports, just like in the frickin' preposterous. What was it? Energy Power Thirst. He was that guy, and then there was Mojo, and Mojo was clearly just written from that. I would not be surprised if they gave him his gimmick just directly from that meme or whatever. That video. It was great.
Well, he needs to do a bear blast.
He needs a growing thrust. If you don't know what a bear blast is, I hope you don't, so that we can describe it for you. And this is new. It's where you just growing thrust somebody to death. You just blast them with your pelvis, and they go flying into the turnbuckle. And I don't think it's ever been done. There's been a Bronco Buster, which is completely not what this is. But this would be just like a standing Bronco Bust thrust.
Like you Irish whip them into the ropes, and
they come back to you, and you just. And they just go flying over the ropes or something. It's ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous move meant for a ridiculous wrestler like Mojo Rawley.
Yes, who does? Woo! It's hammer time.
Like if we're expected to buy that, shoot for the moon.
Yeah, don't stop there.
Just keep getting as ridiculous as physically possible. I want time travel involved in Mojo Rawley's.
Oh, I know this has all been a build-up. You want to see the what was it, the Tempest wrestler or the Chronomancer?
The Chronomancer, yes. Yeah. Where he rewinds matches to make sure that that he can always come back on top. Let's get 1994 in wrestling again, all right?
You have troubled the Time Master! The giant clock, Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav clock around his neck.
I think it was Hourglass, wasn't it?
Yeah, or an hour. Well, because the Boogeyman took the clock gimmick.
Yeah, so it'd have to be Hourglass. Like, I'm going to beat you by the time this sand hits the bottom.
It'd be really interesting to see.
And then he doesn't. He just like turns it around again. Because I'm the Chronomancer.
It'll be really, really fun to see, like, if they can replicate what they did in the match, but backwards. So, like, when they're rewinding time.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Clothesline, whoop. Spin, clothesline from hell in reverse. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Like, that's the cartoon that we need. Okay, you know what? We admit we'd never watched. Admit like it's a bad thing. We never watched Camp WWE or whatever the hell it was.
No.
I don't know. Is it even still going?
No.
But that's the kind
I think it reached its run. I think whether or not it's going to get another run.
But that's the kind of dumbassery I would have expected to be in a cartoon, but I don't think they actually have much wrestling in it.
No, of course not. It's just basically just throwing shade at WWE.
Yeah. That's pretty much. Like, I would have used that as a creative outlet for ideas like that, and then
see if we could turn it into real life.
And then see if we could take it and be like, okay, we've established this idea.
Everything else on the match was, fairly typical tag team action, which it was nice to see it so coordinated, because at some point or another there was like 6 people in the ring, and that could turn into a cluster real quickly. But to their credit, they actually kept the action flowing at a nice clip, and at no point was anyone like stumbling on each other's toes like they were in, like, say, it was like 2 or 3 months ago, where there was like it was just so busy that. Like, I think Gotch botched.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't start a meme.
No.
Don't start a meme.
You know when you say don't.
I know.
But I think, Gotch got a little too... The coordination was so all over the place that Gotch kind of got lost in the shuffle, and he realized that he was supposed to sell something, but that happened like 2 moves ago. So it was like a delayed reaction.
So you see, we have perspective. We're not just going to be all behind Gotch because we like Gotch, We see the bad and the good.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of good.
There is. There's a lot of undervalued.
Yeah. And God dang it. I mean, Aiden English, we don't... there's not enough credit due to him either. No. Aiden English is great. And he started doing his singing again while he was fighting tonight. That was great. A little throwback there from NXT. Oh, so long ago.
Seemingly. It's been months since we've seen him do the shtick. But outside of technically the right guy's winning. If somebody has to go under, can the Ascension go under? Nobody gives a shit about the Ascension.
Actually, somebody does.
Who?
There was a person in the audience on, I think it was SmackDown. Are they in SmackDown or Raw? I think it's SmackDown.
Well, Ascension is SmackDown, yes.
Yeah, it was SmackDown. I was watching before this. Somebody in the audience had a sign in the front, "Resurrect the Ascension."
How about no?
Ascend the Ascension, maybe, or is that too redundant?
Rescind the Ascension, please. Just rescind. Rescind.
Honestly, at this, I like them better than the Usos. So for that reason, I just can't throw them away. The Usos got to go first. Then I can start on the Ascension.
Not on the hot streak that they are going on. I mean, at least the Usos has traction.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah. The Usos have traction. The Ascension has nothing, and I don't really see them actually getting any traction.
You know, it's funny because of their run in NXT. They were pushed so hard.
And then
I think that the problem might be they were pushed so hard that they didn't have to do that much. Every match they had pretty much was like a squash match. So it was just like they didn't have to sell. They just had to go in there, do their like finishing tag team move, which was pretty cool to be honest. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
But ever since then,
yeah. And although it may be deserved, it still makes me sad sometimes when I see that happen.
It's a tough break for them.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you're used to being hot shotted as long as they did, and then all of a sudden you kind of hit a brick wall. Yeah, I mean, a good wrestler can learn how to get around that and still manage to work with what they have. And I don't think the Ascension either can learn that, or either hasn't learned that, or will never learn that. And I think at this point it's a matter of never.
Yeah.
But to get to the main card, to the actual pay-per-view, it's topsy-turvy time here in SmackDown land. What with No Mercy starting off with the main event. I mean, even though it's billed as the main event, can it really be called the main event if it's not last?
Well, you know, I think they can because they have a show called The Main Event that's really, really not the main event. So.
Well, a main event in wrestling terminology is just thrown out the window for the sake of keeping the importance of this match, which, granted, best match of the night.
Honestly, the show Main Event, I think, is called that because it recaps main events from their other shows.
Yeah. But that's not
no, it's a little bit there. Maybe not too much here, but it's a little bit there.
A little bit there. But the point is that the first match on the card is the main event, the triple threat between AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and John Cena. Now, I was entertaining the idea of going to this event because it's in Sacramento. It's about a 2.5 hour drive from here.
Yeah, I would have been totally done with you driving us there.
Yeah, but it would have been we would have made a day out of it. But I don't know. Considering how the event broke down, I wouldn't want my first pay-per-view event that I have
to be topsy-turvy style.
Yeah, I want it to be a nice, clean.
You want a traditional.
Not a traditional. I mean, I respect SmackDown for wanting to break up the usual and see what can go where.
By traditional, I mean not entirely unconventional.
Yeah,
you want it to. You want it to have some structure that is staple to that is structured.
Yeah,
that's how it's supposed to. How it normally goes. I mean, it's not like you want to know who's going to win. You want the matches to be boring. I mean, it's just you want to go in there and be able to say you've got like a full, proper WWE experience because it's your first show.
Yeah. So like I felt like if I went to No Mercy, it would have been it would have it just wouldn't have worked out. But the main event that's up on first is the triple threat for the World Heavyweight title and. Even though I was expecting AJ to retain, I was genuinely surprised by how the match wound up going down. Because even though you could argue that it was kind of overbooked to a certain degree because of the double submission hold on AJ, and I figured what was the point of that other than to throw us for a loop about how this match was going to go down?
Yeah,
but no. What wound up happening, what wound up being
transpiring.
Transpiring is the best show, the best match on the card. No big surprise there. But and AJ retains, not so much a big surprise there. But what I'm wondering is where do they go from here? Because not a lot really leads to a blow-off match. No, I don't. Right, I feel like we hit a brick wall because of this match.
Well, you know, I think that this was this was a node. This is where they're going to finish for right now, and it's not going to. It doesn't have a lead off in itself, but that's where I think Raw or SmackDown is going to come. I mean, SmackDown's going to come in, is it's just going to pick up from there. Somebody goes out or AJ Styles probably comes out. You know, starts talking shit. John Cena comes out, and you know Dean Ambrose comes out, and shit transpires. A whole new feud. I mean, I know the idea was supposed to be AJ playing Dean against John Cena, I think. I mean, that's why he sits back on the ropes like this every time that they're talking. So...
But that never really came across. But I do feel that all three men came out of that match not being buried. Not like all three men came out as strong as they possibly could.
Yeah, and it was a great match.
And it was.
Especially for a first on the card.
Especially, but considering the men involved, how could it not? But if there was a weak link, it definitely was Dean. But that was not entirely Dean's fault. It was that there was so much good chemistry between AJ Styles and John Cena. Granted, a lot of it was sort of like residual shine that came off of their match at SummerSlam. So
if you had to mark someone a third wheel, it would be Dean Ambrose.
But he kept it. He kept his own where it counted. But although most of his spots came with the fact that he was interrupting great what would have been great moments, Uso syndrome. But it wasn't like there wasn't good spots that actually did happen.
Yeah.
I like the fact that John Cena has decided to adopt the Code Red into his repertoire. That's
who ordered the Code Red? John Cena.
Noah's been making that joke for like the last 2 years. I don't know why he still freaking keeps up with it.
Does he do it with for wrestling as well?
Yeah.
Every time somebody hits it.
Okay. Like, did you order the Code Red? The match itself started off pretty slow. They were just trying to basically getting into each other's heads, which thankfully didn't dictate the rest of the pace of the match, because it really did fire on all cylinders about 5 minutes into the match, and it just became like a slow game. Well, not slow, but it became a methodically paced game of one-upsmanship. My favorite part of the match, though, of course, I think is yours and pretty much everyone else's who saw it, was when John Cena was getting both Dean and AJ on his shoulders for a double AA. They broke out of it, but then it turned into a spot where he used AJ's leg to swirl around and kick Dean Ambrose in the face.
He beat a man with another man.
He beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
Yep.
It wasn't like that traditional. It wasn't like that, like he took his leg and then just ragdolled him into the other guy.
No. He used him as like a battering ram.
Yeah, it was good. It was, considering physical limitations, I think that's the closest we'll ever get to that. Ragdoll. But
freaking like Hulk throwing Loki around, like
John Cena,
like a freaking silverback throwing him around.
There was a lot of cute spots too with the 10 knuckle shuffle.
Oh yeah, the 10 knuckle shuffle. I think that was the first. We don't know. Was it the first time?
I'm not sure. I can't rightfully recall where he did it.
I've never seen it.
So, and also the first 450 splash landed in at least a month. I mean, granted, AJ didn't get the pin when he landed it, but I was.
But does he really ever, like maybe like a few times in lower matches?
Like I can't rightfully recall the last time he landed it and won a match and pinned him and pinned the other guy and won. Mm-hmm. But for the last month and a half, every time he tried to land the 450 splash, he's just landing on the mat hard.
Yeah.
So I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised that he landed it, because it's such a spectacular move that every time you don't see it connect, it just kind of chips away at your soul a little bit, and you're wondering, well, what's with the blue balling me here, guys? Yeah. Land it sometime, will you? And he fucking landed it. Then even the little moments too, when John Cena got AJ into the STF, and he was about to tap, but Dean literally prevented him from tapping him.
You know tapping today.
You are not tapping, unless you're tapping to me. But it was a nice back and forth all throughout, but then the weirdness happened where not only did Dean Ambrose use the calf crusher on AJ, which I thought would have been a nice poetic way for him to win the title.
Yeah.
But then John Cena comes around and does the STF on AJ as well. So when he taps, the referee decides, like, no, that's a false finish.
Yeah, because it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, what are you going to do? Have them both wear a long belt around each other?
Well, they could have done back.
This is your getting along. You both are going to get along belt.
Like they're doing with Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah.
Cesaro. Or Samus. I like Cesaro more.
Cesaro. Shazam! Yeah.
Well, they did the exact same thing back in the 90s when Jericho and Chyna co-held the Intercontinental belt for a bit because they both got the pin on the other guy.
Yeah.
Which, sucked, but I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done before, but thankfully they didn't do it. So basically what we thought was the ending was not the ending, which I felt was, why?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's nice to throw the audience for a loop, but this kind of coitus interruptus to the action, especially since we were all on this ride from start to finish.
Well, it was interesting because no manager had to come out, no general manager had to come out and, stop the match and talk to the referees and say, no, we're going to keep going because we're going to have a finish. This is our main event, even though it's the first on the card. So we're not going to also have it be a sloppy finish. That would be too much.
So what wound up looking like a dirty finish wound up being a false finish. And then finally AJ just takes a chair to John Cena and he takes the pin.
Yeah, and that's how we predicted it was going to go, and that's how we wanted it to go. So
yeah.
For that, I was happy. I should be more happy about this.
Yeah. Although I'm wondering, why didn't he just use the chair sooner? I mean, there's nothing preventing him from just getting the chair. And
I think it's because he has a lot of ego, and he doesn't believe that he needs to use a chair.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Triple H situation. If he's not above using a sledgehammer to win his matches, why doesn't he just use the sledgehammer at the beginning?
I know. Well, it's a good point. Why do you do that, Triple H?
Other than it doesn't make for a good match. But from a character standpoint, from a character standpoint, he's a heel that wants to win and will cheat to win, but can win without cheating. So he is, the modern day Triple H in that sense.
Yeah, he's the ultimate weapon because he has anybody who has the means and still cheats is just,
monster heel.
Game over.
Like Reign of Terror.
Yeah.
So with all of that said, it does open up the kind of character plot hole of if he's willing to do it, why doesn't he do it sooner? If there's nothing preventing him, especially in a no disqualifications setting, there's literally nothing preventing the wrestlers just from going over the ropes, especially like a triple threat, because there's nothing preventing it. There's no countouts, there's no DQs, so just go over the ropes, find the nearest chair, and just wallop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do.
Seriously.
I mean, granted, I can, if it was a traditional match setup, like the match he had with John Cena back in SummerSlam, yeah, I get why he doesn't cheat.
And it's like, you already got John Cena and Dean Ambrose hot against each other. Mm-hmm. Let them start the matchup, fade out, go sit down in said chair, wait for a while, come back into the ring, use said chair to hit them over the head and win the match.
Yeah. I mean, So, it wound up being a very, very entertaining match filled with nice, tasty spots. But the only real detraction I have against it is that unnecessary false finish and unnecessary, well, not unnecessary, but just, why didn't he do this sooner? Mm-hmm. Kind of mentality.
But it didn't bother me that much because that's just how it is.
Yeah. Continuing on to...
just one last thing I want to say is that giving a lot of credit to John Cena and AJ Styles, but Dean Ambrose really makes up for anything that he may not have gotten to do in the match with the pre-match. His pre-match game is frickin' just off the scale. His promos that he's been cutting have been top of the line. They've been, I'm not gonna say on point. They've been frickin' amazing.
Yeah, like him, like the last three-way promo that he had with John and AJ on the SmackDown, this Go Home show on SmackDown was probably the best promo I've seen all year, where it's just the both of the men just down, like just dressing down John for being like, you bury people on your way up here. There is nothing you could say that we haven't heard a million times before.
Mr. Hustle, Mr. Loyalty, Mr. Respect, and then he has like an entire passage about how he is like not each of those things, and he ties it in so freaking well. That guy is a mic master. Keep him doing it. Like, even if he ever like hurts himself, God forbid, and has to stick to outside the ring stuff, he's going to put him on a mic no matter what you have him do. He's like one of the best that we have right now as far as mic skills.
Yeah, I mean, I want to fish up one of those kayfabe commentaries that I heard about, where he's talking about his life on the road, and apparently banging 18-year-old sluts, I think was the phrase he used.
I didn't say anything about his morals.
Well, look, at a certain point, you have to understand that if he's a single guy and he has no single attachments and they're legal, I mean, I'm not gonna. What am I gonna like yell at a guy for fucking a lot of women that want to fuck him?
It's not the advice you gave me earlier. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Different situation, man. Different situation. Come on. Like if you were a wrestler,
I was dressed up as Dean Ambrose, actually.
You were dressed up as a bear,
I was
actually.
trying to pass off as Dean Ambrose.
And... Yeah, actually, I do want to hear that story of Dean Ambrose, who apparently...
I haven't seen that yet.
There's a story circling around. Dean Ambrose was fucking some chick in a bear costume while cutting a promo for CCW.
Oh.
Yeah, like Nick Cage style.
How have I not seen this? How have I not seen this? This is incredible. This could be the greatest thing since, like, the gold brick.
I know.
Oh my god.
I do not know if this is true or not. Like,
Woo!
You know how wrestling rumors are.
Yeah, I hope that's real. I really need to see this promo.
It's up there with the rumor that our main man, Macho Man Randy Savage, actually fucked Stephanie McMahon before she was legal, and that's why he never came back to WWF, even after WCW went down in flames.
Oh jeez. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like there's that persistent rumor that's been going around for years, but then in comes our main man, Jim Cornette, to come in and say, like, if I actually knew any kind of concrete proof that actually existed, I'd be the first one to trumpet that out. But he says, the timeline doesn't really figure into it. There's a lot of logical inconsistencies that makes me feel like that's just bogus rumor. Which, if I could trust anyone to say it how it is, it's Jim Cornette.
It's Jim Cornette, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And he hasn't said it, so...
Like, he actually kind of contradicts it, so... I mean, like, he has nothing to gain by protecting Macho Man Randy Savage's image. Or God forbid, the McMahon's image. So, he has nothing to gain from trying to protect either of them.
Yeah,
so.
That's what makes his promos so great.
Yeah.
They're not even... Because they're not promos, really. They're just...
Like, truth bombs.
Just truth bombs, yeah. Suck it, CM.
Like, yeah, exactly. Jim Cornette is the original pipe bomb. Has the original pipe bomb. But moving on to second match on the night, which I thought was going to be the stinker of the night because it's featuring a woman who just has never been able to impress me and was only able to redeem herself by the fact that a no-brainer decision was made.
Wait a minute. Sasha wasn't in this match.
Save your bile for when we talk about Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
But Carmella was made heel, and therefore she has been redeemed. Now, all of a sudden, her noxious personality and her everything else is put up with the bull.
put up with a bull.
That's the only phrase I can come up with to actually accurately describe her role right
Again,
now.
I'm not looking at his. Okay, you can see the paper. I'm not looking at his crotch. I'm looking at the paper.
Yeah. But her match with her and Nikki Bella, a lot of how do I say this, wrestling light spots, and I'm not quite sure if it's because Nikki Bella isn't 100% on her neck. Although they were some pretty, for a women's match, there were some pretty brutal moments, pretty brutal bumps, like her being like body checked into the side, into the apron, and the bow and arrow spot against the ring post.
She's a little underwhelming to me as a wrestler. I mean, of course she looks great. She has a great physique.
Yeah.
I mean, she's no Dana Brooke.
Obviously.
But yeah, she's all right.
Like there was definitely some plotting awkward spots in
I've
the match.
never seen Total Bellas, so that probably is why I appreciate her more than I should.
Yeah, like you're getting her at her best without getting the mountains
of garbage
that comes with her.
I mean, I haven't watched it. I don't need to watch a show like that to know better. I mean, I've seen the trailers.
You've seen the previews, and
that did not even come close to selling me. I at least I gave Total Divas a chance, and boy, I wish I hadn't.
Like, I'll put it to you like this: I would rather watch the opening of the Ark of the Covenant before I watch Total Bellas. At least
you mean the actual opening of the Ark of the Covenant?
Yeah, because I know at least I'll go out in a blaze of glory. Going out while watching Total Bellas is the slow, creeping, lingering, painful, rotten death. I mean, like you sit somebody on a chair and you put on Total Bellas, and you come back maybe 2 days later, and not only has he fused himself with his sofa, he's growing fungus, and he's still alive.
And he's no longer ever able to get an erection. Poor man.
I think that's the least of his worries. Other bits on this match, there was a lot of awkward slams. One of the announcers, I'm guessing it's not JBL, probably wasn't JBL, but our favorite announcer.
Favorite or favorite?
As in favorite.
Oh.
Not Martin Ronaldo.
Byron Saxton.
I'm guessing it's Saxton.
Sorry. That's everybody's favorite announcer.
No, that wasn't Byron Saxton. That was David Otunga, who made the comment about saying Carmella's name but pronounced it Kamala.
No. You said our favorite announcer. I just went to our favorite announcer. So.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Like, if you ask me point blankly who's worse,
no, it can't be Byron because he doesn't.
Yeah, like I know
he doesn't matter. He doesn't matter enough. He doesn't happen enough. Nothing transpires with him. He doesn't say anything.
But Otunga David Otunga has nothing of value to add, but the problem is,
whereas Byron has nothing to add.
I think Saxton knows he has nothing to add.
He does know. That's why he doesn't probably.
Yeah, so that's why he kind of chirps in.
And
every
I
once
guess
in a
there's a kind of
chirps in everyone's. Otunga talks more, and that's why he's worse in my book.
Yeah, I guess there's a redemption to be had in that.
Yeah, like Otunga just kind of talks to talk, and
oh yeah, you know what Byron does have? He has pity on his side.
Yeah,
lots of pity because of the fact that people
keep picking
are aware of it, and they totally treat him like a chew toy. God, I know a little bit about that, don't I?
But the difference is when Corey Graves gives Byron Saxton crap, you feel bad for Byron Saxton. When JBL gives Otunga crap, it's like, yeah, thank you, JBL. God damn, he's one of my favorite heels of all time. But
yeah, you even have like a tattoo of his face on your heel. That's pretty cool.
Actually, it's a scab, but
oh, sorry, JBL.
Yeah, sorry, JBL.
It's my mistake.
But yeah, I believe it must have been Otunga who called Carmella Kamala. I don't think I can really readily mistake
Carmella for
for
Carmella.
for 5'4", thin-waisted former cheerleader. I think she was a former cheerleader. Carmella.
If she wasn't in body, she was in spirit.
Yeah.
She's a cheerleader of a wrestler.
With 300-pound black guy with racist face paint. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy watching him as a kid, but Kamala today as a gimmick would not fly straight at all. It would not fly.
Yeah, so he flubbed a little. It happens.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. There's other things to.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's lost in an ocean, I suppose. Then.
Yeah. But Carmella, like as the heel, pretty much run roughshod over Nikki through most of the fight. But she started the comeback with the lamest spear I have seen since Vicky Guerrero tried to spear Edge, and she just bounced off him like a ping pong ball.
Yeah. So have you? Whereas that was like stoppable force meets object. Have you ever seen a spear? Have you ever seen a spear where the person charging at the other person actually goes backwards?
Like I said,
that's not how physics works. How does that even happen? The person that she was spearing actually had more driving force than she did.
Which is weird because if you look at the two women,
man.
it's obvious that Nikki is stronger and
Yeah,
and has more heft to
that's
her.
what that was. So actually, that was almost impressive to me.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure how that happened.
Because I'm not saying that Nikki is like Nia Jax or anything,
Yeah.
but compared to Carmella, she is. I mean, like Carmella has
She is.
wispy thin.
Yeah, she puts the cruiser in cruiserweight. So
Like she almost feels bad whenever she's in the ring with any other women wrestler because I feel like it's like putting up like Spike Dudley against Bubba Ray Dudley.
I mean, it's like you wonder why she has to be such a spitfire.
Because she has a lot to really make up for.
Yeah.
Rather. Because
And then you've got people like Alexa Bliss
who
are like one of the short, like she's shorter than Alexa Bliss is shorter than Carmella, but she's beefier.
Yeah, like she has a good ratio to like muscle density and athleticism,
Which is actually really good in wrestling.
Yeah.
To have that stature.
Yeah, but whereas Carmella rake thin,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much all that has
Which
going.
means bumps that you take like a spear. Oh, I get it. That's why. Didn't want to snap her in half. She held back.
Yeah, because how would you like it? Like Nikki Bella, literally snapping another woman in half like she were goddamn Rhino.
If it's Carmella, maybe.
You wouldn't want to be the woman that did that. You don't want to be the woman who got snapped in half by Nikki Bella.
Oh, they got snapped in half, not the one who snapped her in half.
Yeah, like you don't want to be the woman who got snapped in half.
Either way, it's bad.
Either way, but I mean, like if it was Nia Jax, if it was China, then at the very least he's like, okay, great physical specimens of strength and power. Okay, that's perfectly understandable. Nikki Bella, the former runway model, she was. It wasn't that she was a former model, but I believe she it was some kind of weird talent search.
Something very not wrestling.
Yeah, something. I believe she. Yeah, like she used to be like some kind of they were Bud Light models. They were beer.
That
models.
explains so much.
Yeah, there we are.
And they just never lost their gimmick. In fact, that was their gimmick. I guess that just kept.
Yeah. So, the whole match was kind of meh, but Nikki gets the win.
And are we keeping a scale at this point? Are Nikki Bella's shorts actually scaling smaller in size each match?
It seems like it. I don't know. It's not that. I hope creative is not telling her to wear shorter and shorter shorts.
I would hope that it's her own, design that, or at least her costume designer and her agree with it or something. But
yeah, I believe that she has the right to reserve the. She can reserve the right to say, can we put a little bit more length in the legs?
Yeah, when you're getting slips and stuff, it's like okay, but yeah, that's why they wear nylons and stuff now. I guess they learned that lesson.
Mm-hmm. But except for Nikki didn't wear nylons. I don't believe.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Well,
I pick up these details.
well, you could have fooled me. Uh, but
Wait, how can I have fooled you? Oh, are you taking a shot at my ability to pick up details, or are you taking a shot at my ability to
no,
notice
I'm
money?
taking a shot at. I'm saying could have fooled me, as in.
Because that was like well placed.
Yeah, I said could have fooled me as the fact that. Well, they did fool me. That I didn't think that they were wearing nylons, but apparently she was. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, they're good. They're like those new, like, you see cosplayers. You seen them?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like almost like undetectable.
Oh, okay.
But except to the good trained eye.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'll trust your judgment on that. I kind of feel bad for making jokes during this point because they bring in the Susan G. Corman women who talk about their trials and tribulations with cancer. But this is the WWE. I can't take these, I can't take like these breast cancer survivors accounts without tying it back to wrestling, because how could we not?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're hearing all these accounts saying like, I was a WWE fan for years, and
Yeah.
and hearing all these accounts, and then I'm just thinking, finishing up her tales with my own spin on it, like, thanks to the WWE, I put cancer in the STF and made it tap out.
It wouldn't have hurt if they had added a little bit of something flair to it, I suppose.
Yeah, like, they're trying to be earnest with...
They don't want to piss anybody off, obviously. This is a big thing.
Yeah, they don't want to piss anyone off, but this is still the WWE we're talking. We know better. We know that there is a part of them that wants, like, these women to say things along those lines.
And why not, though? I mean, really, though, who is being hurt by doing that?
Exactly.
I mean, no one's being hurt by doing that, so
exactly.
Why not?
Yeah,
it's fun.
Like, who's the victim in that? Like, who's the victim in that joke? No one. It's like,
no one's the freaking victim in that joke. You're absolutely right.
It's like cancer's the victim, and like
yes,
cancer's the. Let's victimize cancer.
Yeah.
Let's put cancer in the bank statement and make it tap out.
The bank statement. Why did it have to be the bank statement?
But this whole
no, that's too good for
cancer.
No, that's actually too bad for cancer.
The bank statement is too good for cancer.
No, nothing's too good for cancer. Even the bank statement.
Mr. Sacco puts on the mandible claw on cancer. Cancer's fading.
I think I meant to say it was nothing too bad for cancer. I said nothing's too good for cancer.
Woo! Woo! Ric Flair chops cancer.
Like, seriously, I mean, they could have really had somebody get heat by coming out there and being like, I never got cancer.
I think that's, but the thing that surprised me.
I hate the color pink. Just lame heat.
Lame. Easy heat. Easiest heat to gain since Pete Rose came out and trash talked the Boston Red Sox fans out in WrestleMania 14. But the part of the segment that I think both took me and you for a loop was seeing Titus O'Neil with Walleye.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sure if
did Sami Zayn knock his eye loose in his last match?
No, obviously not. Like, is it some kind of corrective procedure that he had done? And I honestly don't know why that happened. Does he have like corrective? Does he usually wear corrective contact lenses? I will fully admit that I do not know thing one about people who have walleye. But it's you see him day in and day out, wrestling, and actually he just kind of came back, and then all of a sudden you see like this, like you see him having a walleye. He might as well have come out having like a vestigial third arm coming out of his neck.
For how it's that bad.
It's not that bad, but it has that same kind of surprising effect. It's like, wow, WWE does a very good job at hiding that weird baby arm. But
just bust out a guitar and I can't get to sleep. I worry about
the implications. Yeah, he does look like Colin Hay from Men at Work. Oh, it's do you want to hear the oldest joke in the universe?
What is it, Sage?
Men at work? Well, not lately.
Oh man, it's bad because it's been going on. That joke's been being told for so long.
Hence the oldest joke. But as I don't want to like keep harping on Titus O'Neil's weird walleye. I had no idea what the heck it is.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that it's not. It was just surprisingly and distracting. All right, nothing.
It's.
Nothing against the guy.
I didn't even notice it till you pointed it out.
How could you not have noticed that?
I didn't notice it.
Oh, to be blissfully unaware sometimes.
Blissfully unaware of another person's possible deformity.
Yes, make me the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I have to make you the bad guy. I have to fan you off from the heat you get every freaking like day. I have to fan you off from heat in winter.
Actually, it is surprisingly warm for a mid-fall night.
Yeah, I know, right? See what I deal with? And I'm not talking about Lana heat. It's a different kind of heat.
Speaking of heat,
oh, Maurice?
No, the next match is our own personal heat magnets, well, more him than me, the Usos versus Heath Slater and Rhino for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Now, the first thing that we both noticed, that unlike the Titus O'Neil's walleye, you were immediately picked it up, and I was willing to let it go, but you were just so absorbed by the Usos' neon yellow shoes that you just could not stop.
Yes, but you know what's the difference between Titus O'Neil's problem and that problem? They had the power of choice. Titus O'Neil did not, purposely do that. So it's not like he saw, Dana Brooke out of the corner of his eye and he was like,
Titus O'Neil, look at the camera, not the soda machine.
Don't call Dana a soda machine.
Certainly Wyatt is a soda machine.
That's going on the list.
But yes, the Usos wore loud yellow shoes, and he could not stop talking about it.
I could not stop talking about it because my eyes couldn't stop telling me how painful they were. It just went right from here to here.
Tell me, where did the Usos shoes hurt you?
Where has anything the Usos have ever touched not hurt me? Everything they touch turns to hurt.
Between these the really sloppy shoulder checks and one particularly embarrassing botch where one of the Usos, I forget which one.
Why would that be?
Because now they don't have anything to physically signify between themselves other than one goes shirtless, one doesn't. I still have yet to.
Are you telling me that all twins look the same?
Only the identical ones. The fraternal ones look completely different sometimes.
That's actually a fair answer. I thought I had something there, but
no.
But you wiggled your way out of it. So good on you. Good on you.
Thank you.
That's good.
But
good save.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unlike some saving definitely needed for this botch, where I believe one of the Usos was tagged in, goes to the ropes, goes to the ropes, and the spot was he was going to butt check Rhino into the corner like his what was it? His the father Rikishi. Rikishi's their dad. But he runs up to the wrong post to do the
That was one of my favorite moments in this pay-per-view.
To do the butt slam.
That was great.
And then goes
beautiful. Pristine.
Then runs over to the correct ring post to deliver the butt slam.
Oh man, that was beautiful.
If it was just that he was running to that first corner to gain some momentum, that'd be one thing. But it was
that's what I thought at first, but then we rewound it, and because I didn't get the whole thing, and then it was like, holy shit! I'm so glad you rewound that because
like he tried
totally legitimately he fucked up.
He realized like, no, I'm not trying to butt slam the air. I'm trying to.
For once, the Usos cock blocked themselves.
Thank God, right? And
you know what? Fuck it. I have to give them props, don't I?
Yeah.
They don't actually have a lot of botches.
No.
So that's props to them. They're not botch heavy.
I mean, like, they're good workers. There's nothing about us, nothing about our problems with them revolves around them not being able to work.
It's more like Mark problems for me.
Yeah, and considering that they're heels now, I think
that I'm. Nothing sucks more than the situation that I'm in right now, as far as hating a superstar or superstars for that reason. Like, it's like reverse psychology at this point. Don't you hate that? It's like you're supposed to hate them now. I legitimately hated them before as face, and now I'm supposed to hate them. Like, you think I'm going to hate them now? Well, I'm going to not hate them, but that they might expect that, so I'm going to not hate them because they. But see, I'm thinking ahead.
So, like, your brain eats itself inside out, trying to put yourself in a position where you're not expected to hate them, so therefore you feel vindicated by the fact that you hate them, not that you're being played.
But then I know that's what they want, so I'm not going to hate them, and then I'm going to hate them for that.
But, like, as soon as, like, that botch happened, it was like the match kind of took on a second life of its own, because before then it was pretty plodding. And unlike a typical Heath Slater-Rhino match, where Heath takes all the punishment and Rhino just becomes, like, the juggernaut that finally gets the hot tag and runs roughshod over everyone, Rhino took a fair amount of punishment. And Heath had to, kind of like, come on, buddy, tag me. Come on, tag me. And he finally got the hot tag, and that's where I felt like the match really took on a second life of its own, and there was some really good spots as far as the match. Really good spots, like the stiffest super kick of the night.
Oh yeah,
that felt like it gave Bret Hart a second concussion, just by looking at it. It was really fucking stiff, and I'm surprised Heath Slater was able to keep going after that.
Was that the one where just all that spit and possibly teeth flew out?
Oh,
yeah.
Internal organs, spinal column,
man,
amniotic fluid.
The kick heard around the frickin' arena.
Yeah, it was like a bullet.
Like the guy who does the stick thing for sound.
Yeah, like
he like didn't even hit it. It's oh shit! They're not even gonna hear this one, man. That was loud.
Yeah, there was no need for additional Foley for that.
Heads aren't supposed to make that sound.
Yeah, please tell me you're all right, Heath.
Yeah.
You got children. Additional, this always makes me laugh.
You can get points from The Miz about incisors.
Yeah. I always laugh whenever somebody oversells a kick out, because it always feels like, of all the things that you're going to really, really sell, why is it the most common thing you have to sell? So I believe it was... Yeah, it was Heath Slater tried to get a pin on one of the Usos. They kick out, and he sells it like Kermit the Frog sells, like... whoop, whoop, whoop. He sells it like Kermit the Frog's opening a show, like, yay! That always gets me to giggle. And, but Heath even had a little moment of his own with a quick little power slam off the second turnbuckle, which... It's not a great display of power, but it is. I love how quickly it came around. And I wish Heath moved around the ring with that same kind of speed and velocity.
Veracity works too, actually.
Voracity, that's the word. Not veracity. There's no such word as veracity. Voracity.
I'm sorry, I was thinking ferocity.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Veracity. Now we're both.
Yeah.
Yes, but ferocity would work too.
Yeah, veracity, yeah. That same kind of intensity, because I feel he is really capable of that. Even 6 years after the Nexus is all said and done, that and since he's kind of going through this career renaissance, like revival is more the word, career revival. I'd say keep running with it. I mean, you got the crowd on your side now. Let them know that their faith in you is well placed.
That's exactly what we're all hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, we already respect him for the jobbing he's done. That's for sure.
Oh, obviously. I mean, you can't be a part of the social outcast without getting more than your fair share of jobs to deal with.
Yeah. Oh man, good on you for just for that. Just for the good on you for social outcasting. Not that it was not like thank you for the social outcasts per se, but thank you for sticking around after you were a part of that.
And yeah, I mean, like I
Yeah.
would like if I could get the kind of pop that Heath Slater got, just by winning the tag team champions back at Backlash championship back at Backlash, I would go through the social. I would job as the social outcast too.
I mean, he really was the one who carried them, if anybody could.
Yeah, certainly certainly wasn't going to be Curtis Axel.
Yay!
But yeah, Heath Slater and Rhino retain after a really surprisingly good match. I keep using that term, surprisingly good.
Ooh, speaking of Curtis Axel, where is he? I haven't seen him around.
I believe he's still with Raw.
No, I don't see him hanging up in your room.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah.
found a frame for him yet. I still have him.
Like, I still got Zack Ryder's pelvis sticking out in my bedroom, so someday I'll unfold it.
Someday I'll frame Curtis Axel in my bathroom. Whenever I hop a squat, I'm thinking of you, Curtis Axel.
Yes, because you have to go. Yeah! Oh, Curtis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, talk about like weird career revivals that most of the social outcasts are getting. What with Bo Dallas being given jobbers to?
Oh
to-
my god,
to squash?
I haven't been getting that because I get my wrestling through Hulu.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like it's the lamest yet most
That
cheesiestly.
explains a lot.
It is the cheesiest, lamest yet somehow most awesome squash matches you could possibly imagine. Because it's frickin' Bo Dallas. This is not Braun Strowman, where you kind of like, all right, yeah, reverse choke slam. I get it.
Yeah.
Squash him. He's 6 feet tall. We're about as big as Bo Dallas.
Yeah, but Bo Dallas was... I mean, did you ever see him in NXT?
Yeah.
Because that was pretty painful at times. I don't know. I mean, that one I did like that his parting from NXT was actually kind of good, where he kept coming back. They had to escort him off, and that wasn't bad. I mean, it was overplayed. It was overtagged, but
It was a good gag.
it was Bo's character being at its highest point, I guess.
Yeah. And that momentum didn't carry him. Although then we're in this weird spot with him. But yeah, I believe the right people won. It keeps even. I thought this was just going to be a one and done tag team.
Yeah.
Especially since Rhino apparently has an election coming up. So I'm not quite sure how long they're going to be in for.
Yeah. Rhino. Yeah, he's a Republican, and he's running for
I forgot like
some positions.
some like mayor.
Yeah, I think it might have been mayor actually, but it seems like there's a lot of wrestlers that go for that.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I think it was just Jesse Ventura
He ran for governor.
ran for governor, and then there was I'm sure there was somebody else who ran for mayor. I just can't remember who, but in any case,
Yeah. Jack Swagger versus Baron Corbin in what is possibly what I think is the dud of the night. I can't.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say that this was the worst worked match,
okay,
least impressive match, and by far and away the most underwhelming match of the night.
okay,
I mean, and we'll defend another match later on the card. Just to, for those of you who are wondering, like, what about this? We'll get to that. But I've always been of the opinion that Baron Corbin Baron Corbin is this guy who... Baron Corbin is somebody who needs more than anyone on the roster an actual repertoire.
move.
A repertoire or move. He has a signature. He has a
finisher, but he has
Nothing.
other moves
He has-
other than striking.
He has nothing in between. I mean,
Like literally he has, and I'm using the word correctly here. He has no other grappling moves. Nothing.
yes.
Please, what move have you seen him do? Ever?
Besides End of Days or
Thomas,
Sidewalks.
I'm actually trying to find a match where he did a move, and I'm having trouble turning up one.
Like him and mid 2000s Undertaker are like the kings of punch matches.
At least Undertaker would once in a while surprise you with a move.
I mean, like like
And then there was like old. I mean, we're not gonna bad talk the Undertaker, that's for sure. I mean, like there was old school. I mean, let's not even compare the Undertaker to him, but I know what you mean.
like Undertaker is the king of the punch match.
Yeah.
And him and Kane put on what I thought was to be, and I hope to be, the end all to be all punch matches back in the day. But then all of a sudden Baron Corbin got teamed up with Jack Swagger. Jack, why the fuck am I still here, Swagger? And all of a sudden,
Yeah, who comes back on a pay-per-view. Well, he came back at, I guess, SmackDown, and then he didn't even win that match, really.
yeah,
Freaking... What was that tap-out spot there? What the hell was the point of that? It's Baron Corbin.
like why are you trying to screw over a heel?
Yeah. Baron Corbin doesn't need that. That was really just useless. I don't know why they did that.
I other than to try to give Jack Swagger enough momentum in the match coming in without burying. Because here's the thing: if Jack Swagger wins clean over Baron Corbin, he buries Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
But Jack Swagger has no goddamn momentum going into this match, so he needs something. But
Some semblance of maybe.
yeah, some semblance of maybe.
But nope. That ain't gonna happen. I like Baron Corbin's showmanship. Baron Corbin. I like Baron Corbin's showmanship.
I mean,
He's
a good entrance. You know, he has a good entrance.
his entrance is fucking awesome.
He has a good entrance. He has a good look ever since he did away with those goddamn cargo pants. He got away with the cargo pants. Like, his hair... Alright, I get it. He's balding. He's balding, and he kind of looks like fucking Riff Raff from...
Dark-haired riffraff
from Rocky Horror.
Horror. Yeah.
I'm not the first one. I know I made that comparison before, but goddamn.
But there's something about the way he styles his hair that puts emphasis on it or something.
Like
that makes it seem kind of weird.
Almost like Pickles the drummer with the skullet.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's so bad that he's doing that terrible Pickles comb over thing where he puts like cornrows over the... But at least he's not like trying to cover it or shit like that or compensate. But the thing about it is it's like other than that, he's actually he's a pretty good looking guy. He is.
Well, he has kind of a bully face, if that's.
He has that face that's like a cute bully face.
Not like another person we can name who made an appearance at the end of the program that we'll get to, who has that kind of.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. But from bell to bell, like it would quickly turn into a punch fest, and then
another comment. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, what I was thinking about his image. Yeah, I love this part. Is that he could go full? I think I've mentioned before. He needs to go full Kurgan. And I don't mean he needs to like do the Kurgan after he's incognito and shaves his head. And gets the leather and everything, just go full out. I think he could seriously own that.
I'm sure he could. At the very least, it will make him not look like he just cleaned up a garage floor with his head.
Yeah. Yes.
Another comparison I've already made. Fuck you. I know.
But yes, I seriously look into that image, Baron Corbin. It is. You could own it.
Yeah. But first, before you do any of that, add a power slam, something.
Yeah, but before you even bother, get some grappling in your repertoire.
Yeah, just like, I get it. You're a heel. You're not supposed to have too many like entertaining moves. But when your match with Jack Swagger revolves around half the time punching him, striking him, or doing these sloppy ass, slow, rumbling, slobber knocker shoulder checks, they're not even tackles. They're shoulder checks. I think we counted like something between like 24 shoulder checks between this match.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm not going to be as hard on Jack Swagger as I am on Baron Corbin because what the fuck is Jack Swagger going to do? I mean, Baron Corbin is supposed to have a future ahead of him here in this company,
and there's room to grow and pick up some wrestling moves and
yeah. I mean, like, granted, like he's a heel, like he targets some particular part of Jack Swagger's body, like he targeted his hand. Yeah. And I get it, stomp on the hand. It's like, okay, that's good heel work.
But when you don't have enough moves to be a heel, that's not good. That's not good.
No. I mean, like, I would even rather him do some sleeper holds because that's something. He doesn't even do sleeper holds.
Mixing it up a little.
Yeah, he doesn't even do fucking sleeper holds.
It's like the boss man has a larger moveset than you do.
And it got to the nadir of the match was just like the weird finger hold that he was trying to.
Oh yeah, that he did twice. I mean, okay, props for doing something that's not a punch. That's fair.
But
a finger hold is what you chose. Really, big fucking Baron Corbin.
It's like,
and you gotta take him out at the fingers?
It's like, ooh, I got your fingers.
Really?
I mean, it's not like it wouldn't hurt, but it's not impressive in the slightest.
Like, seriously? Come on.
Like, give us something else.
Why are you going... It's like you have to take the guy out limb by limb and knock the guy down to a... Just fucking... I mean, I get it. I'm going back to saying, why don't you just punch the guy instead of trying to take his fingers out, but because you're huge. But power slams, something, scoop slams, DDTs, suplexes. You have a lot of things to choose from. Belly to fucking belly, anything.
German, suplex.
You have this impressive specimen of a body. You have great athleticism. Why are you not doing anything? Where we could just keep going.
Power bombs.
Yes.
Just anything at all. Moving on.
Like even the Great Khali had a move where he would grab your frickin' trapezius and squeeze it until you fell down. The Great Khali has more moves than you.
No.
Okay, does he not?
I'll draw the line there. All right. He had two moves. Khali had two moves.
Did he only have two moves?
Brain Chop and Mercy. Like playing Mercy with somebody's shoulders. That's it. I am not going to defend Baron Corbin very often, but I will defend Baron Corbin against the fucking Great Khali.
Didn't Khali do a move where he would kind of scoop slam you, the kind of scoop slam as well?
If he did,
okay, I digress. I'm going too far.
Yes, that was a step too far.
I'm going too far.
I never thought I'd see the day, but you're giving Baron Corbin too little credit.
Well, I have to be hard on him because he watches this, and I need to get him motivated. And I want him to succeed. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
I love Baron Corbin, but
I
want to have legitimate reasons.
Like very, very disappointing.
Yes.
Very, very disappointing. Now, here's the match that I think pissed you off the most. You with your little Marky Mark brain. The Miz.
Marky Mark brain? Like I have my brain's doing the Funky Bunch?
Feel it. It's The Miz versus Dolph.
My brain is like if Marky Mark's brain ate another Marky Mark's brain.
So like his brother Donnie?
It's like that line from,
Yeah.
John's Trainwreck. John Cena, yeah. Okay.
The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler for the IC title with Ziggler's entire career on the line. Now, it's no secret, you've made it no secret that you and Ziggy Poo are not the best of friends. You feel that he is just a watered down HBK, and as we all know, that HBK is...
Should I just go?
Yeah. That HBK is your, childhood idol. You loved HBK ever since you were a little tiny wee Gabe.
Okay. Ventriloquist time's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you know how much I dislike the Zig.
Yeah, the old Ziggy Poo. But you know what? Point of fact here, he never did the whole tuning up the band anytime in this match. Never did.
Should use that for the title. Actually, that's better. Yeah.
No, because that's not very indicative of how we feel about the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that moment, that your face when you noticed that he didn't copy HBK. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, like he was his own man in as much that he does the super kick. Yeah, but it wasn't like he did the whole
Yeah.
before, and
So it wasn't. Oh, so it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the duper kick. That's
No,
what it is.
no.
The super kick is what HBK does. What he does is the duper kick.
so it wasn't the duper kick. It was just like he made solid contact and he sold. He had a Ziggler match, and the fact that the crowd was so overwhelmingly on his side, not
Yes,
at first,
remind me. Yeah.
not at first, like
I actually heard
at the beginning
almost half the audience shouting for Miz.
Yeah, like at the beginning of the match, it was just the let's go Miz and let's go Ziggler, let's go Miz, and then
Let's go Twizzler.
but then by the end of the match, the odds were so stacked against Ziggler, so ridiculously high that
There's a certain point where it just feels like too much, though.
No, it doesn't. Not
They were laying it on thick.
Oh yeah, they were. Of course, they were laying
They've
it
been
on.
laying it on thick.
Oh yeah, of course they were.
They've been laying it on thick his entire career.
Exactly. And to see kind of WWE acknowledge the fact that they've been burying Dolph Ziggler for the better part of 5 years for 5 years.
That promo was great. If you haven't seen it, even knowing the outcome, just see it.
Yeah. See, like, especially for somebody, if you are not a big Ziggler fan, seeing that, you must have come.
Oh, yeah. Especially the context that I had, because you showed to me without me knowing that it was The Miz who was orchestrating it.
Yeah.
I thought that was the WWE's promo for him. And I was really excited for this pay-per-view. And I found out it was The Miz. It was still good, though. And I like The Miz all the more. Just for having been a part of that.
Oh, God.
Oh, man, The Miz has been doing great. He's actually starting to elevate to that legitimate Johnny Cage status.
Mm-hmm. He always had the potential within him. Always did.
And it took Daniel Bryan to bring it out in him.
Yeah, like ever since, like the one who benefited the most from the move, from the SmackDown move, has been The Miz.
Yeah, I think that what they did was Daniel Bryan had that conversation with him in earnest off camera, and then Miz got pretty pissed off. Maybe even did talk about renegotiating his contract, something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, "Hey, use that."
And then they just had like a light bulb idea.
And then it was just like The Miz is like, "Oh, wow, thank you, Daniel Bryan. You're a really smart guy."
And then
And he's like, "Yeah, I am."
coming in like this nearly half year long run with the IC title, it has been like he was batting 1,000 wearing this goddamn title, but I couldn't think of a better way to get it off of him, and have the IC title really mean something. Like how this match really broke down. I mean, there was some sloppiness on the exchanges, and I really wish The Miz would stop trying to do the slingshot powerbomb, because it just looks really goofy, and it doesn't look like it's doing anything other than the stupid little gimmick of like, I'm bouncing off the ropes and then I'm going to plant you. That really doesn't do anything. It doesn't look impressive. It just looks like you're wasting my
especially when you
goddamn
do it
time.
that slow.
Mm-hmm.
But when you bounce him off the ropes and you actually have to lift him off the ropes, you're not getting any recoil. You're not getting any momentum.
No, like this. We're just gonna let that go on.
Yeah.
I think he understands. Like the savagery, not savagery, but like the way that they were able to salvage a lot of some of the botches.
The salvagery.
They were able to salvage some of the botchy moments among along the night, but that's Ziggler can make up for a lot in that regard.
He certainly he's Ziggler is a competent wrestler. He sells extremely well. He definitely went to HBK school too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like he definitely rivals HBK in that department. But he's got a good look, etc., etc., etc. I just I hope he finds his own style, his own gimmick, his own self.
Yeah.
Because he deserves it, and we certainly deserve that. We don't want HBK light, at least I don't.
No. Well, only things I want left to say is like the way that they stacked up against Ziggler, the spray in the eyes again, still managed to get the foot foot on the rope. Spirit Squad came out again
That was
and tried
great.
to play
Kenny and what's his face?
Yeah, doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. They tried to ruin Ziggler's day again, and he still managed to power through, and he wound up winning. I honestly thought that Daniel Bryan would run an interference to prevent the Miz from doing anything untoward, because there was no part of me that wondered, like, there's no way that he's not going to win, because if this is their goodbye to Ziggler, making him look like the biggest chump in the fucking world.
Be like, wow, whose feet did he step on?
Yeah, exactly. So no, they were just dogpiling on him so he could have this really great, coming out on top moment. I mean, it's not like he won the freaking world heavyweight title or anything like that, but the way that Miz has been protected and the way he's been, honing and crafting his IC title run, I feel like that's the best. He came out looking like $1 million, and so did the Miz, in a lot of ways.
And Maurice always does.
Mm-hmm. So I think, as far as there was no better way for that match to end. Some sloppiness here and there, but the story surrounding the match was so laid on so thick that the way they laid it on so thick, you could make an argument that, it just felt like you were being forced to like Dolph Ziggler. I could see the argument in that. But on the other hand, Ziggler is such a good such a good wrestler to wear that sort of like this guy, he's the underdog. He wears that mantle with such grace that he can still appear to be the underdog, even though if anyone with half a brain could see the setup as being like, okay, he's going to win. But
I was hoping he wouldn't.
Again, the mark part of your brain coming through.
I was hoping he'd come back as Colonel Ziggler. That I can get behind.
So, unfortunately, we don't know the details of this yet, but the Irish last kicker herself was...
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently... News got out that she was not fit to wrestle at No Mercy due to an undisclosed injury, non-wrestling related injury.
Yeah, which the first thing you thought of was pregnancy?
Maybe pregnancy. I thought appendectomy maybe, but then I thought no. Well, I mean, laparoscopic surgery has gotten so good that you could go in and out, and you'll be in and out in 2 days. Mm-hmm. And then again, I don't think you would want to wrestle 2 days afterward, but the news is coming out that Becky Lynch is going to be out for a month. So
yeah, so something that's not wrestling related out for a month. Whoa.
Yeah, so it's definitely not going to be pregnancy, but it's not like something that could flare up like an appendectomy either.
And they didn't sell it as they didn't even sell it as a wrestling related injury. They didn't have her come in and get hurt and
not like they did with Randy Orton.
Yeah, so it's very weird. And whatever it is, I hope she's comes out perfectly okay. She's been on such a rise lately.
Yeah, and just to have this happen to her, and apparently she's, if you're out for 30 days, you're going to have to, if you're going to be out for 30 days, you have to advocate the title.
Yeah.
And, it's such a ignominious way to have your first title, your title run end, but... And since this happened so spur of the moment, and so last moment, rather...
We think that's why they had to move the main event match to the bottom of the card.
Or, this definitely shuffled the order of the... Because I don't believe that for a moment that they wanted to have the triple threat be the opener. Maybe this was supposed to be the opener, but then they realized, no, there's just no way we can...
Yeah.
So... I mean, I could believe that the Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch was going to be the opener. I mean, that seems like a very appropriate way to open the pay-per-view, but wasn't to be. So they had the match instead that Alexa Bliss would fight Naomi. So I thought, okay, spur of the moment, let's have them fight for a little bit, they'll have a match that you could see on SmackDown and we'll get out of the way. And true to my thoughts, they did. Little weirdness here and there with I think there was a moment where the cameraman was looking into infinity, and Kevin Dunn decided to edit
Oh dear.
edit the shot into the Titantron,
Yeah.
and therefore we kind of got like a Wonka tunnel bullshit for like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
And then,
there was this like Inception-y kind of like, whoa!
like a camera was looking into another camera,
Yeah.
and then like you're staring off into infinity for a little bit.
But
Kind
it
of
was-
looked like a 1970s music video.
But the thing is, it wasn't like when the Titantron would sometimes do that, like back in the 90s. When it was just kind of like mirror, 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 mirror. It was like there was this little See, I'm not technical, believe it or not, and so I don't really understand what happened. But it was like a little box within another little box, but it was like black and then like little red boxes.
Yeah,
I
I really briefly caught a bit of it when I was looking up from my notes.
it was very weird,
Yeah, a little bit of a messy poo there.
and we don't know how long it actually went for
No,
because of editing.
no. But I'm surprised that managed to escape. But the thing that surprised me most about the match was that Naomi won.
And this was my my most ideal match on the card. Not the best match of the night for sure because it was impromptu, but it was my most ideal match. What would be one of my my most anticipated matches if it had been
Properly booked.
properly booked and hyped. But because Alexa Bliss and Naomi are two of my top favorite superstars, and Charlotte has rocketed to the top of that list, and I'll explain later because that just has to be mentioned. I think that needs to be shouted from rooftops what Charlotte did on I think it was Raw, on Raw, and I'll talk about that later. I really should have opened with it. Just God, that was amazing. Okay, keeping my excitement leveled. So what we got from this match was a very admirable attempt at covering up, lost.
Yeah. It did well to cover, and I feel like this was supposed to like making the best out of a bad situation where it was like, well, we have to advocate the women's title, so that means we're going to have another kind of like a 5-pack challenge or whatever for the women's title. So that means, probably we're going to have to light a fire under Alexa Bliss's ass because she was the #1 contender. Wasn't quite sure if she was going to win or not, but that that seems kind of besides the point. Besides the point. So the only way to properly book this is to find somebody that can give her, some doubt as to whether or not she will wind up having the title somewhere down the line. And I felt Naomi was the best choice in that regard. And and considering how impromptu and last minute the match wound up, being booked,
they covered it really good.
Yes, they did. Some weirdness here and there, but that's just again like
a little bit of pauses because they had to orchestrate. But when they got to the moves that they had to do, they were very well executed.
Yeah, like both Alexa Bliss and Naomi are probably the best athletes in the entire women's division.
Hell yes. Hell to the fucking yes. I cannot get enough of those two. They are on fire. And I hope that I want to see them both succeed. I want to see them both get the belt. Naomi and Alexa Bliss for the women's championship.
But
in whatever time they both end up getting it.
Yeah, but I think you're just going to be like a furious little cinnamon bun as long as you're sitting on this Sasha Banks.
Fuck.
Sasha Banks, a little diatribe you're on. So before we talk about the last match, why don't you vent?
Okay. So, I've already mentioned stuff. I've already voiced my opinion before that got me heat. So let's get some more heat. Sasha Banks is overrated, overhyped. I do not like her. I don't dislike her. I just don't really particularly like her as a champion. I mean, she doesn't do enough in the ring for me to get behind her. She has the bank statement is it's a decent move. It's a okay finisher. I mean, I like the way she rolls back from the backstabber into the crossface kind of thing. That's neat. But she spams it way too much, I think, to compensate for not having a large repertoire. This is my personal opinion. And I wish that she would have more moves. I wish she would do more high flying or something. She has like the Hurricane Rana, and then she has the bank statement,
and the suicide dive.
and yeah. And the thing is, like, if this were maybe 7-8 years ago, that would be enough. But women's wrestling has really elevated since then. And Sasha Banks herself gave that speech that I certainly appreciated about women's wrestling, about how far it's come. And I'm thinking the whole time, though, well, why don't you put up then? Why don't you go out there and give what the other women are doing in the ring? That's my opinion. And it pisses me off every time I see other people job to her, who I think are way, way better. That's how I feel. I'm not a fucking expert, but that's my opinion.
My only gripe with what happened on Raw was that, didn't we do this same song and dance like 2 months ago? Where she won on Raw, and then Charlotte got the title back, and now it's back on...
That is pissing me off, too. Hot potatoing the women's championship is not okay. Giving it to cancer survivors, cancer champions, that's okay.
Yeah, that's...
Replicating the belt. But don't pass it around the actual belt like it's a replica. Because it's not. I know you just made it, and maybe you're having trouble. It's the new women's championship belt. Kudos for getting rid of the old one. Maybe it's taking time to settle because it's new.
I don't know, because I think like Charlotte's wearing it very well.
Charlotte, okay, can I pop for Charlotte?
Go ahead.
She did what was almost a red arrow on Raw to the outside of the ring off the turnbuckle. Like that thing that Neville does where he does the shooting star press, she basically did like a corkscrew moonsault. It was very similar. I don't know the intricacies of which move is, harder. I'm sure that what Neville does his thing, I think is way harder because it's a shooting star into a corkscrew. But what she did was like the first time I've ever seen, I think, anybody do that to the outside of the ring. Maybe, I think Jeff Hardy might have done it.
Yeah, but if you're talking, like, if you're in the same league as Jeff Hardy...
But if you're... and I hate having to say if you're a woman. I hate having to say if you're in the women's division, then doing this is better. But it is, because that's how low they set the bar. So by elevating the bar up, it is better. It is incredible. What she did, I'm still mulling it over because I watched it late today. And I'm still like weighing how much I appreciate her compared to all the women of the past. Perhaps she's the best, because this is not the first time she's done this. She did that moonsault against, and she always does this every single time she's in a match where she loses the belt to Sasha. It's like every single time that Sasha gets to come out the champion against her, she has to go and show us how much better she is. By doing that.
Well, this only happened twice. I mean, like, first is happenstance, 2 is coincidence, and 3 is a pattern. If this happens again for the 3rd time...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... No.
And it's happening really close together.
Yeah, like, I get that they're wanting to build this whole, like, first women's Hell in a Cell match, but then really, actually, picture it. A Hell in a Cell match is supposed to have weapons and using the steel stairs, to use as weapons. And what women's match have you ever seen in the WWE where that was the case?
And you know what? I fully believe that Charlotte would be happy to take bumps like that.
Oh, yeah.
I totally see her doing that, because she is just a fucking... She is just a barn burner of a champion. She deserves a reign of terror. God, I have too much pop. I don't have enough time for the pop that I want to give her. Sasha, on the other hand, I don't see her taking a bump. I don't think that she would be interested in doing that, because I think she probably cares too much about her image.
No. Let's be fair to Sasha. She does do the suicide dive more than a few times.
Fair enough.
Like, she lands on her fucking ass and lands head first onto the concrete. I'll give her that. But what I don't like about Sasha Banks, more to the point, is that more to her character, is that she should be a heel, but she's not. Mm-hmm. She has that heel...
The legit boss, the gimmick, is very heel.
Yes.
It's tacky as hell, the shutter glasses and everything that you can buy at Hot Topic. That's pretty fucking tacky, but it's also very heel because Tacky is heel a lot of times.
Yeah. Like, I don't think the gimmick works at all as a face.
Yeah.
As a heel, yeah.
Okay, and you know what? Yeah, I'm probably being a little harsh. But that's kind of the point of marking out, isn't it? That's what you do.
Yeah, it's especially against the other woman in this case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, how boring would it be if I just sat here and be like, oh, I have opinions. I don't know if I want to be too hard on her, though. No, it's not going to be entertaining. So, yeah, this is just all balls to the wall. Yeah. This is just pure coming out of it and voicing opinions.
Yeah. So, and speaking of voicing opinions, the last match on the night, which was surprising as all fuck, Bray Wyatt not only gets to main event a pay-per-view by the technical definition, motherfuckers, like he was the last match on the card, he's in the main event. Fuck you. Not only is he in the main event, but he wins. Granted, not clean.
Yes.
But he wins.
But he wins, and thank God it's about time.
He wins. He finally wins a pay-per-view match.
Thank you.
And it's all right the way he won, too, because he's
heel.
He's heel.
So great.
So, yeah. And you know what? For the most part, I like the way the match was building. Because it does look like Bray Wyatt was dominating. There wasn't a lot of times where Randy Orton got his licks in. They were there.
And on the other hand...
But the majority of it is Bray just having his way with Randy.
But on the other hand, going into this, I mentioned that both sides are going to have a bit to lose here.
Yeah, like...
Whoever has to take the job is going to suffer because you did, yes, more Bray Wyatt. He has... This is like a Dolph Ziggler level of I need to win, almost.
Yeah.
Actually, way more because he deserves it more.
I mean, like,
but
Randy doesn't need the rub.
Yeah,
that's what all it came down to. Who needed the rub more?
And Randy did need it to a degree because he did lose to
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. That was not even a match. That's why I'm not having trouble remembering.
Yeah, like
that was just him getting pummeled.
That was just a down and out fucking glorified UFC fight.
Yeah, that was like have Brock Lesnar come in here and basically be Butterby in the Brawl for All. That's a great idea. Don't let him do that. I mean, he know wrestling enough to be able to wrestle without having to go UFC on someone. Or maybe that's his secret. He's always in UFC. And they just have to try to not let people find out. Yeah. But seriously, he needed the win a little bit because he was coming back. His return to WWE after a long time was a loss. And this is another loss. So, but he doesn't need as much as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I think that this is not the end, though. And even though the match itself was fairly benign. I mean, there were some few spots I liked. The senton splash, the senton that didn't land, and so Bray Wyatt just landed bareback against the steel steps. That was a brutal spot, and good on Bray for doing it, especially with the kind of body he has. And I also love the fact that he won by the surprise of Luke Harper just entering the arena.
Oh, but yeah, first the willpower it takes to go do a senton splash on a steel steps, knowing that there's no one there to take your fall and no one's actually doing it to you, so it's all your own willpower. That's tough. Like, can you imagine having to basically just go ram your head into a brick wall at full force or something? Like platform 9 3/4 it, and there's no dimension there, there's no door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of willpower.
Yeah, you don't have to imagine it. You could literally just see the third movie. That's what happens.
Oh yeah, because one of them didn't make it first, or Harry didn't try it, didn't work or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It's been years since I've seen those movies, but yeah, like Luke Harper makes his return, Mr. Man who looks like how Taco Bell smells.
Yes, I named my Muck in Pokemon Go Luke Harper in honor of him.
But
hey, don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
Muck is a really good Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It's extremely good. It's like one of the top 10 best.
You know what? I'm not here to say no. I'm not here to tell you that you are kind of silly for doing that, but I am going to tell you are silly for doing that.
He just doesn't like Pokemon Go. So
I think we
it's
will.
all silly.
I think we all well established that. Anyway, the Luke Harper's back.
You know who does? Xavier.
Good for him. But yeah, Luke Harper's back, and I couldn't be happier. I feel like his return means a lot of good things for the Wyatt family, and I want to see where this goes, because finally there seems to be some momentum other than like spoopy, scary stuff happening on SmackDown, and even then I'm okay with. Because,
Zombie Roman Reigns is climbing out of the bag.
Yeah,
Spoopy.
yeah, very spoopy. Thank you for that one. Thank you. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with the vignettes on SmackDown because it kind of reminds me back when I watched '90s Attitude Era wrestling and the Ministry of Darkness shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the Ministry of Darkness.
I mean, like looking back on it, I know I shouldn't have because
Corporate Ministry ended kind of.
Yeah, because corporate ministry and whatnot, and nobody wants to remember Midian. Nobody wants to remember Midian.
Thanks for reminding me.
But
And all of us.
But like, I'm getting shades of that while watching it, and I can't help but smile. So, when it's all said and done,
Good job,
I hope this.
members.
I sure hope this continues. So, all in all, kind of more of a mixed bag than I'm used to for SmackDown pay-per-views, but way more positives than negatives. And I feel the only problem here is that there's not enough room for stories to grow at the end of this. Only one, and that's actually two, like the women's title and the and of course Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Mm-hmm. Those are the only ones where I feel like you could continue from this. Everything else just feels like, well, we're done here. So, I know, like all things must come to an end. So either way, we'll see. We'll see what's coming down the pipeline on.
Hopefully, something that Randy Orton can really sink his teeth into, his fangs into. That is.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, by Tuesday, we'll know where we are. So till then.
Actually, finishing thoughts?
No, that is my finishing thoughts.
Oh, was that your finishing thoughts?
Yeah, my finishing. That was my finishing thought. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anything for you?
Oh well, thank you for asking. Check out Charlotte. Check out that whatever it is, corkscrew moonsault. That's awesome. It's not related to this, but it was leading up to it.
Right.
And also, I'm really excited to see all of the. I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of videos or GIFs or something of Sasha Banks taking bumps now as examples of when she did, and I'm very happy about that. I look forward to watching Sasha Banks take a whole bunch of bumps.
All right.
It's going to be great.
Till next time.